So everybody's been throwing around options on this Jets offensive line. What is the best combination of five? So I dug into the numbers and let's see what they have to say. So here is the Jets' first team offensive line is currently constructed throughout the most part of training camp. The numbers next to each player, I took the average of how many snaps they go without giving up a pressure, a sack, committing a penalty combined with their run grade. It's not perfect data, but it's the information we have. So the higher the score, the better. Right now, the Jets are trotting out an average of 125.8, hoping for a bounce back year from Lake and Tomlinson. As you can see, as Aaron Rodgers alluded to, it's the edges where we're struggling. Mitchell and Turner both in the red as per their 2022 numbers. Now, if just some numbers for clarity's sake before we start switching up some lineups. Becton, his left tackle year, his rookie year was 151, so he was lower than Brown last year. So just by these numbers, the best lineup will include Brown at left tackle. We don't have any data for Becton at right. Billy Turner, for what it's worth, he did play pretty well in guard a couple years ago. Right guard was his best position analytically throughout his career. And then Wes Schweitzer, who played center last year for the Commanders, played right guard in 21 and had a very solid score. And then we know that Connor McGovern started his career as a right guard, but the last year we have on that was his second year in the NFL, and it wasn't very good. So just for some clarity as we start pushing through, because I know those questions will come up. All right, so now if we look at our week one projected lineup, if I had to guess right now, we just substitute Dwayne Brown in and then Billy Turner is on the bench, and we go up 25 points to 145.8. And that is actually of all the maneuvers we're going to go through here, including the blockbuster trade for Zack Martin, just for fun, see what it looks like. That is actually the most significant change. Dwayne Brown stepping in for Billy Turner is massive. Billy Turner's numbers from last year suggest he is barely a rosterable NFL player. Respectfully, is what it is. All right, now let's do the thing. AVT to right tackle. So that's AVT's score from his snaps from right tackle last year. If you want to know what he was at for left tackle, he was in the 150. So not quite as good on the left side as he was on the right. Now, the best option at right guard, just by the data we have, would be Wes Schweitzer. But Schweitzer's 21 season was a little bit of an outlier. His last season at guard was his highest graded season by quite a significant margin. So if they want to sign Dalton Reisner, who is a free agent, actually had the same exact score in 2022 last year and has been more consistent throughout his career than Schweitzer. So if they want to sign Reisner and have him and Schweitzer compete at right guard, that could definitely be a solid option. And that does bump us up to 161.4. So that's a significant upgrade, putting AVT over Mitchell and then plugging in Schweitzer or maybe Dalton Reisner in for AVT at right guard. Now, another trade we've talked about is bringing in James Hurst. So if we bring in James Hurst, who's a tackle, now you keep AVT at right guard, his best position, and then you put Hurst in for Max Mitchell. Hurst last year at right tackle was 2021, which he had a very respectable score. So it's not really moving the needle that much from just AVT to right tackle and rolling with the guys we have. It's a 1 point upgrade, but I will say, man, Hurst is so much better than than Billy Turner. So if you want to bring in Hurst and then roll with Schweitzer at right guard, and then Hurst is your backup tackle, Hurst does give you a lot better depth than Turner, and he's versatile. He can play multiple positions, so he makes you better, but he's not really juicing up your starting lineup that much. All right, now the Zack Martin trade. Goodness gracious, 223. He's a very good player. But if we look at the total score, all right, we go from, if we just have AVT at right tackle and rolling with some cheaper guys, it's 161 to Martin 169.5. So the highest number by far, but not by as much of a massive difference as you might think. So to summarize, the biggest upgrade the Jets offensive line is going to make is when Dwayne Brown comes off the pup and goes in for Billy Turner. The Jets' best offensive line likely does involve AVT at right tackle. Reisner makes us deeper, not a needle mover necessarily, but I think if you wanted him to compete with Schweitzer at right guard, you could patch that up pretty good. Martin would give us the best offensive line, obviously, but I don't think it's worth the resources, even if Dallas wanted to trade him. I mean, you're talking premium picks and then extending a 32-year-old guard, I'd be excited if I saw the tweet, but man, that is highly questionable roster construction. Trading for Hurst coupled with AVT to right tackle, I think is the most pragmatic move to kind of hedge your bets all the way across the board because Hurst has experience playing left, right tackle, and guard. So he's really a better version of Billy Turner who can be some liquid glue around your offensive line. And yeah, AVT and Brown at bookends are just it's gonna be the best lineup they can roll out there by the numbers that we have. But there it is. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll talk ball